Alright, Kelly, let's take a look at your essay. Hopefully the background noises aren't too loud. And I'm just watching my microphone levels and I don't think it's picking up on it. But anyways, we'll start with your introduction and move all the way down. So starting off with your quote, I think it's really interesting. I think it's a decent quote to start with. Sometimes you do want your quotes to be relevant to the topic at hand. So for example, you want your quotes to be by a person who can also relate to it. So I'm not sure exactly how Michael Jackson would fit in, but it doesn't matter as much to me for this one because I think this is a good quote about human nature and how it influences us all. So this is okay. Where was I going with that? But anyways, the only thing I have a problem with, though, is the way that you transition from the quote into the rest of your introduction with just the word anyways. So here's this quote, but anyways, and that's why it doesn't necessarily work, because you want the quote to be relevant to your theme, and even just a quick few words or a quick sentence to talk about it would be fine. So even if you integrate one example here, integrate one sentence between these, it'll be fine. And then I'm kind of foregoing looking at the crucible in the introduction, so I don't know if you've all been taught that, after you read a book, you're going to write an essay, so that essay is going to have the book or the text right in the introduction, but you don't necessarily need to have the crucible mentioned in the introduction. You can just go right away with mass hysteria, and that is fine. But all this is pretty good. The introduction is good. I think your hook just needs to be integrated more into the rest of the text, and you have a good thesis. Human nature prompts mass hysteria more so than the media is potent in creating mass hysteria. This can easily be demonstrated by the several cases of mass hysteria before the invention of technology and media, and by the several studies that have shown that the majority of cases of mass hysteria derive from psychological stress and anxiety. So this is pretty good, and we'll see how the rest of your essay does this, but before the invention of technology can be a little bit of a gray area, because you don't want to use it as your scapegoat to be like, well, we had this before media, so obviously it's this one. So we'll see how it goes, but other than that, have a better integration here, and then this is fine as it is. Alright, so as we move into your next paragraph, I'm not seeing any major concerns with grammar, which is good. I think your writing style is really good, and if I remember right, even your test essay was really good with this. So, overall, Kelly, this is a good paragraph, and this is what I was talking about earlier. So you kind of rely on the fact that this was before we had media, which is fine, but I think to tweak it a little bit, given the question, what you could do is talk about how, in these cases, the dancing plague, the meowing nuns, even if you talk about whatever these are, and I think these are some pretty quick examples, which is fine, and you talk about some analysis that's in there, I think if you just add a sentence or two about how they are responding to what's around them or their environment, this will be better, because this is what I don't want people... There's the bells. I don't want people being too worried about putting everything in and integrating it for human nature as a way of, well, this is before media, just because it's an easy way out. So what I would say overall is this is a pretty good paragraph. You have a good topic sentence and it closes really well. I think you should just add a sentence or two that focuses on, beyond this being before media, what is it about it that's caused it to spread, and then relate that back to human nature. So as we move on, oh, excuse me, I lost my voice there for a second. Alright, Kelly, as we move on to your next body paragraph, I'm going to make this short and simple. This is really good. You have a good development of evidence with analysis. Here's your evidence. Another example being this. And then you have some evidence at the end. What I would suggest to you is, even though this is pretty good so far, and I don't see any grammar issues as well, I think you can challenge yourself by throwing in a little more analysis in between the examples, and I think that's the only thing I'm seeing with your analysis. So when you see this on your rubric, there is when I'm writing on it is analysis between examples, but I have it B\N. That just means between. So overall, this body paragraph is really good. No main issues. I think your topic sentence is strong and your ending is good there. All right, as we move on to your opposition, many people may believe the media is more potent because with the help of media, cases of mass hysteria become more frequent. So I think this is a pretty good topic sentence where you talk about it may be more frequent with mass hysteria, but maybe it's not prompting it. The only thing you're missing here, this is a good comeback to it. The thing you need is your topic sentence should acknowledge the opposing argument. And you refute it really well, but that's the thing you're missing here, is you need the specific examples about why people believe it's media instead of just this part right here. You need a specific example, and that's the only thing that's missing here. Then when we get to your conclusion, human nature prompts the creation of mass hysteria abundantly more so than the potency of media does. This has been verified by the absence of media in several well-known cases of mass hysteria, and by the origin of hysteria, which is human emotions, such as psychological stress and anxiety. So this is a pretty good start to it, the invention of media in the 1900s. This is a grammar thing that I'm not going to ding any of you on, but you don't necessarily need the apostrophe here. But that's a rule that a lot of people screw up, so I'm not going to worry about it. Increased awareness of cases of mass hysteria. Oh, you are missing a comma. That's the first one. You need a comma before but do not increase the frequency of cases of hysteria contrary to popular beliefs. Media is incredibly potent in many different situations, but in regards to the creation of mass hysteria, human nature has by far got media topped. I think overall your thesis is really good, reviews your main points, your evidence and analysis is good. Again, the only thing I think you can improve on is putting your analysis in between the examples instead of relying on your analysis all at the end, okay? But I think you are at a good spot.